Hi, I'm Peter from Germany, and please excuse my poor English, not pure, my poor English. But I thought I'll share this with you. Recently I bought East-West's Symphonic choirs, and I was too lazy always to look to the Votox table and how to find the right syntax for the Latin or German words and phrases. So I wrote a little program. It's written in Microsoft Access. This means in Visual Basic for applications. So what you need is Microsoft Office and Windows and of course Microsoft Access. I used Access for two reasons. First of all, I'm very familiar with programming in Access. It's the first reason. But the second is that the database is behind it, so you can easily store your phrases and your translations ad infinitum. So there's no limit. You can store whatever you want. So the program is called Latin to Votox. At the end of this demonstration, I give you the link where you can freely download the program. I give you the source code with it. So feel free to advance and improve this software. It would be nice if you would share then the better results with me. So when you start this little program, it's called Latin to Votox. So it's it can happen when you do this for the first time, as it does here now. Then you see this yellow ribbon here, and you have first to activate the content. You only have to do this once when you use it for the first time. Later on, this is no longer there. So I do this now because otherwise the program will not work. So I click here on German. It's called Inhalt aktivieren, and yeah, it may be that it does not work because this thing here is open. I close it now, and now it works. Okay. Well, so what you have here is the first panel, and let's start with let's start with Latin. Yeah. So first of all, I have here copied somewhere on the internet the words of Latin version of Pater Noster, and let's say I use the first sentence here, for example, and paste this to my program here. So before I translate, I have to separate the syllables. So this is I want to do now. I say here, you can use blanks or simply you can use dashes as I do here. Pater Noster quies in cellis sanctificetur nomen tuum. Okay, so now I have separated the syllables. Pater Noster qui est in cellis sanctificetur nomen tuum. Now in Latin the letter C is ambiguous pronounced. Sometimes it's pronounced as a C and sometimes it's pronounced as a K. So since the program does not recognize what the difference is, you have to do first something, and this is written here. If C is pronounced like a K, change C to K. So this we do now. For example here, sanctifice, sanct is a K, so I change the C to a K. Now I have the sentence Pater Noster qui est in cellis. I think I lost T here. Qui est in cellis sanctificetur nomen tuum. Now I hope it's right. Now I can go to translate, and as you see here, the dots or the comma or whatever is ignored here, and I have here a kind of Votox translation. Now I go on and take this translation, paste it, copy it first of course, and now I paste it into the player, into the Wordbuilder, and let's hear how this sounds. And now I paste my translation here, and let's listen how this sounds. Well, I guess that's it. Of course, you have to do the fine-tuning then later on, so you must always have in mind my little software is just a start. It's a basis where you can start from, and then later on you can do the fine-tuning. So the next what we do is I demonstrate the German thing. Now you see this again. I click here on German. As you can see, I have already 2 records here in my database, so I have here a new one. And what I do the same thing, and I find here somewhere the German words for Freude schöner Götterfunken, Tochter aus Elysium. This is from the 9th Symphony of Beethoven, of course. The words are by Friedrich Schiller. And yeah, I copy this here and paste it here. It's the same like I did with the Latin thing. Now, first of all, I have to separate the syllables again. So we make here Freude, schöner Götterfunken, Tochter aus Elysium. Wir betreten Feuer trunken himmlische dein Heiligtum. If you ever wonder what these words mean in English, it's a little bit hard to translate, but it's a praise of joy, and joy is personified here, called Freude. It's the German word for joy. It's like a person. Freude, you sing to this person. Freude, schöner Götterfunken means joy, beautiful spark of gods. Freude, schöner Götterfunken. Tochter aus Elysium means daughter from Elysium. Elysium was a Greek mythological place. Later on in the Christian world, it's used for heaven. It's the place of the blessed. So it's Freude, joy is the daughter from heaven. Wir betreten Feuer trunken himmlische dein Heiligtum. Okay, I don't want to give you here now a lecture what this all means, but it's a little bit old-fashioned for German people too. So here you have to do not very much. I try to translate this little bit complicated things like Ö. You see O umlaut here. It's the O with the 2 dots, and it's a very different thing to say schon or schön. Schon is S-T-H-O-N. This means already, and schön with the dots, the same writing, means beautiful. So you see very different meanings because of the 2 dots. So this is the thing is important, and this is also a little bit tricky in the Wordbuilder, because in English you don't have a Ö, you have maybe, but no Ö and no Üs, the U with the dots. And so they forgot to sing this vocals. So we have to use a few tricks. I tried this. And let's see what's happening here. Now when I go to translate, then you see here what the program did out of this. And let's do the same thing. I copy this one and go now to my Wordbuilder and paste it there. Okay, you see I pasted here this translation. Okay, so now let's listen. What you will hear now is I have found a playback, half playback with no choir on it from the 9th Symphony, and I play now this choir here to this. Let's hear. Well, it's not it's not perfect, of course, but you can hear it sounds at least like German, yeah. And maybe I'll let you hear the version when I mute this orchestra here, and then you hear it now a cappella. Well, of course, this does not sound so good versus the embedded version with the orchestra. So there is a lot to do to fine-tune now and to look how it sounds. I give you at the end again the version with the orchestra. Well, okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration, and if you want to download the little program I wrote for the translation of Latin to Votox or German to Votox, now look, you can go to this link which you see now on the screen and can load it down for free. So thank you and bye bye.